Students, here you are going to understand one of the important concept of genetics, that is heredity. As you know, heredity is the transmission of characteristics, structural, functional, and behavioristic from the parents to the offspring, or from one generation to another. So, guys, here you can understand the passing of traits from parents to children is the basis of heredity. Then, what about the trait? A trait is a noticeable feature or quality in a person. Each of us has a different combination of traits that make us unique. Traits are passed from generation to generation. We inherit traits from our parents and pass them to our children. When you come across with heredity, it refers to the genetic heritage passed down by our biological parents, means true parents. It's why we look like them. More specifically, it is the transmission of traits from one generation to the next. These traits can be physical, such as eye color, blood type, or a disease, or behavioral. For example, the hygienic behavior of honeybees that drives them to remove sick larvae from the nest is inherited behavior. Hereditary traits are determined by genes, and a single gene can have several variants called alleles. There are two copies of each gene in our cells. One of the copies comes from the sperm, the other from the egg. In an individual, these two copies are not necessarily identical. If the two copies of a gene are identical, we say that the individual is homozygous for that gene. If the two copies are different, the gene is heterozygous. The alleles of the same gene can have a dominant or recessive relationship with one another. If both alleles are different, means heterozygous, and at least one of these two alleles is dominant. It is the dominant one that will be expressed. Conversely, a recessive allele will not be expressed in an individual if both parents pass down the same allele. As a result, even if a recessive allele is present in a genotype, it will not be observable in the phenotype if the other copy of the gene is a dominant allele. During reproduction, the genes of biological parents combine to form a new unique individual. This shuffling of genes is the reason all of us are different. Gregor Mendel, a monk and botanist, conducted experiments in the 19th century. He experimented on different characteristics of garden pea plants, which always presented in two alleles, white or purple flowers, yellow or green peas, etc. He discovered the laws by which Genes are passed on from one generation to the other. These are known as Mendel's laws. Heredity, also called inheritance or biological inheritance, is the passing on of traits from parents to their offspring, either through asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction. The offspring cells or organisms acquire the genetic information of the parents. The transmission of genetic characteristics from parents to offspring. It is dependent upon the segregation and recombination of the genes during meiosis and fertilization, and results in the genesis of a new individual similar to others of its kind, but exhibiting certain variations resulting from the particular mix of genes and their interactions with the environment. Thank you.